Fake, be who you wanna be, cause what makes you unique is your identity. It's what makes up you and me. It's what makes up you and me. It's what makes up you and me. It's your identity. It's your identity. Yeah. It's what makes up you and me. It's what makes up you and me. It's your identity, it's your identity. It's what makes up you and me. It's what makes up you and me. It's what makes up you and me. It's your identity, it's your identity. It's what makes up you and me. It's what makes up you and me. It's what makes up you and me. It's your identity, it's your identity.
Hello and welcome to another segment of the Other Woman magazine. My name is Lavenda Williams, creator and founder of the Other Woman magazine, which is published by Candy Publishing. Tonight is a special night as we peel back the layers with Miss Carla Lewis, who is not a stranger to the Other Woman Facebook Live segments, and she also has a column in the Other Woman magazine on relationships. And Carla, I know you're backstage listening, so you are due for an article for this upcoming issue. You can get me when you come on live. Okay, who is she? All women, we should all ask ourselves that. And this platform is open to women to share your craft, your business, your book, whatever it is. But we want to know, in addition to that, who is the woman behind the craft? Who is the woman behind the business? Who is the woman behind the book? And most women cannot answer that. Most women, when I ask them to introduce themselves, they say, I'm the wife and mother of 3. I work here, I work there. But who are you? Who are you outside of wife, outside of your job title, outside of your position, outside of being a mother? Who are you? So we're going to speak with Miss Carla Lewis tonight. I'm going to bring her on. And if you are interested in peeling back the layers, if you're brave enough to allow the other woman to peel back some layers, because we all have several layers. There are so many layers of talent, gifts, skills, personality of who we are as a woman. With the one life that we have, don't be afraid to peel back some of those layers. Don't be afraid to find out who you are outside of who everyone thinks you are. And we all have gifts and talents and skills. And some of us never tap into those because of fear. We may be afraid to, we may doubt ourselves. But this woman right here, behind that big, pretty smile, Carla Lewis, she's going to share a little bit about who she is and why she does what she does. And we're going to bring her on now, Miss Carla Lewis. Hello, Carla.
Hello, everybody. It's just exciting to be here. And again, Lavenda put me on the spot, but I'm like, okay, I'll try to write up something for the deadline. So yeah, I love that.
Well, that's a part of who you are also, Carla. You're the relationship doula. That's what you've usually been on as our relationship doula. But who is the Carla behind the relationship doula? Who is the Carla behind all of these beautiful baskets? Who is the Carla behind who you are, the lives that we see, the videos that we see? We want to peel back the layer. And thank you for being bold enough to share that. So as you introduce yourself now, share with our viewers just a little bit about you.
Again, one of the things that I think we need to be excited about is, number one, it's never too late to start discovering who you are. And that's what the Other magazine does. It allows you to explore new avenues for whatever reason. Maybe you grew up in a particular culture that wouldn't let you do something when you were younger. Now you may be in another place, another time. You can do it. And yes, we know timing is important for certain things, but there's so much to us. And as we peel back the layers, as she said, it may be like cutting an onion. And some of you may cry through this because you realize that there was a part of you that you've forgotten. It was lost. And you thought, whatever happened to me? I know for me, part of peeling back the layers was after I identified as just a mom, a wife, when I didn't have those things anymore, the kids are now adults. I'm like, who am I? I felt like Rip Van Winkle. It's just like you wake up and life has just passed you by, it seems, because you stop following your passions and your purpose, and you wonder what happened. So you guys can enjoy some rain on my side of the world. It's supposed to be some
Bad
weather,
weather tonight, yes.
but we're all going to be safe. But that's the fun part, finding out what you might be interested in doing that you may not have done some years back. So let's peel back the layers. What is it you think you wanted to do and you didn't do it? Try it out now. But before we go on, when she mentioned about doing, she knows I do baskets. I make these lovely baskets. But one of the things is that I grew up in the Virgin Islands, St. Croix. And within the last year, we now have our own official Madras cloth. And so that's what I'm using with my nice head
That's
tie
beautiful.
that we are just so excited about. And recently, we had a fashion, they had a fashion show that showed the different ways that different fashion designers were using the material. But one of the discussions they had, how fashion was always a part of our culture in the sense that back in the day when we weren't allowed to wear certain types of fabric, and in the in the people who owned us, in their trying to diminish us, they would ask us to raise, or ask the women back then to raise their skirts to prove that they didn't have on some other type of fabric that we weren't allowed to have. But what that did for the women in the Virgin Islands is they started wearing lace and pulling up their skirt and showing a bit of the lace there and creating fashion as, kind of thumbing their nose at the people in charge to say, we don't need to use your particular fabric. We can make our fashion from whatever we have. And for the other woman, and for each of us, you don't have to have what somebody else think you should have. You
Right,
actually do so much with what you have.
right, right,
And
right,
that's what I like to bring out for people. Why not? Don't follow the masses. We were
right.
created to be individuals.
Exactly.
So be
Exactly.
you.
Be you. And that's one thing of the other woman. The whole mission is to allow women the opportunity to to meet the other woman. Because whatever reason it is, we all have been in situations or periods of our life where we have been suppressed or silenced or not able to live freely because of fear of judgment, because
Yes.
of religion, because of upbringing, because
Mhm.
of standards that have been set on us with society, because of what's expected of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as I age and realize this one life that I have, and I hope that the younger women don't wait until you're in your golden years to
Mhm.
start living, even though the golden years, for me, it feels like I got another opportunity to live. It didn't start until life didn't begin until 50. You got a new life. So it's just amazing. But yes, to meet that other woman within you who wants to use her voice, who
Mhm.
wants to just, like you said, use your gifts, use your talents. Why not try it? What do you
Mhm.
have to lose? What do you have to
Correct.
lose?
Correct. Because I don't believe in losing. I believe it's learning. So if I do something and it doesn't work out, I've learned something. I haven't
Right.
lost anything whatsoever. I have learned. When I think of some of the major inventors that we have down in our ancestry is because they kept trying and trying. I recently found out that it was a woman of color who developed the always wings of the wings. I'm like, I'm glad you
Right.
kept trying
I
because some of that
know.
other stuff, I would hate to be using
Exactly.
rags.
Yeah, still using rags. Exactly. Because that's what they
So
used.
yes. So the
Hmm.
thing is, do not be afraid to quote
Right.
unquote learn. You're not losing, but so often in our society, we think you either win or lose. And so therefore we attach shame to
Hmm.
learning
Hmm.
something. It's just like,
Exactly.
okay, that didn't work. That
Try
relationship
something
didn't
else.
work. Try it. Right. There's someone else who could be there for you. Don't just say, oh, I give up on relationships or I give up on finding the best in me because
Right.
somebody said that I wasn't good enough for this or I didn't
Right.
do this part. Is just like, you know what? You may not have been the person I needed to hang around with. You may not be the tribe that I need to connect with. Let me
Yes.
continue to find the eagles. This may be the section for the ducks or the chickens.
Right,
Let
right. I
me
don't want to be
find
a
one.
chicken.
You know,
Exactly, exactly. And you know what? You said try again, try again. I cannot recall how many businesses that I have had, especially in the network marketing. I believe in network marketing. I have had, I mean, all the way back from Amway. I've tried them all. I've sold insurance. I've done it all. But I decided to stop making money for other people. It's like there's got to be something in me where I don't have to pull other people in to make money. I can pull what's already in me and
yeah.
prosper. And I
Say
believe
it
we were
again.
all created.
Say
Pull
that again.
whatever is in you, pull that out of you to prosper. We were all created with something that we can
Yes.
prosper with. But a lot of us don't know how to identify it, or we look over it,
Hmm.
or it's right in front of us. We probably do it every day and don't
Hmm.
realize it, or that fear,
Yes.
afraid to try. I just kept trying until I finally realized, okay, this is who I am. I
Hmm.
like to write. I always wanted my own magazine because the other
Hmm.
magazines didn't speak to me.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I don't know what it was. It's like I had to try. I had to try. So
And,
failure shows
and
you that you're working towards something. It doesn't mean that you can't do it. How are you going to know unless you try?
and the beautiful thing is because you tried, that's how we connected. I attended one of your workshops
You
for,
sure did. Hit
birth a book. There's a birth book within you. And when I heard
right.
your
Don't die a
story,
book. Right.
yes, and
Don't.
all of that. So because of that, and even your writing, when you shared about your first couple of books you wrote, and I remember your comment there with the church scenario and that with someone there, it just I just related to it so much. And because you are walking in your purpose now, no matter when you found it, um, it is benefiting so many
Yeah.
others. And when you say that too, just recently I stumbled across the movie that was called The Apple Mortgage something or the other. And the young woman in the storyline had to pay her mortgage, but didn't have anything but her grandmother's apple cake recipe, something like that, and decided she was going to, somebody told her you should sell it. So she started making some and was able to generate enough money to pay her mortgage. So, of course, that may not be a real story, but it goes back to what you're saying. What is it that you already know how to do
Right.
that can do well? But what happens, I think,
Right.
Lavenders, many of us don't know how to put value on ourselves because
Oh, girl.
we give ourselves a zero
Yes, a
value,
zero.
you
Oh
know?
my goodness.
And so that's the
That's
problem.
another show.
Okay, we'll deal with that later.
But that is the truth. That is the truth. And I posted, um, I think it was a TikTok video of this woman saying, I think you saw it. The woman was saying that somebody came up to them to, I want to support your business, but your stuff is too high or too expensive or whatever. And she said, that's okay. That's okay. Come back when you got it. If you broke, say you broke. But I ain't changing. I'm not lowering my prices. So you
Right.
know what? I value what I do. Nobody
Mhm.
sees the time. the
Mm-hmm.
effort or the energy that you put into anything you do. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel my creator, that's him, her using me as a vessel. So, yes, it's not me anyway. That's my
Right.
creator working through
Right.
me.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're going to minimize the value of what you do, you need to rethink it because it's
Right.
not about you anyway. And
Mm-hmm.
Deborah says, when it's about the money, it makes you sad. You
And
can
right, because
chase money all day.
yeah. So when you do that, so again, it's like finding that balance in that you continue to do something that you find joy in because when you do it, whether or not somebody pays you to do it or not, it's just like you enjoy doing it. So that's the beauty when you find something that you enjoy doing. And if someone wants to pay that price for a particular service or product that you have,
Right, right,
that is good because the one thing that I learned early on, my father was, love him dearly, but he really isn't a businessman. And so I remember that he had a space that he rented out to someone and he did it minimal. So, say for instance, he rented it out for just $200. That person took that space and subleased it for
mm,
like $1,000.
mm,
And so
yeah.
I realize that some people will steal
Oh goodness.
your stuff, and
Mm,
others may not want to pay from you, but when it has Macy's name or whoever, whatever stuff on it,
right.
oh, that's going to be it. So I like to encourage women, especially because I saw that illustration where they had a bottle of water. You could buy it at such and such. It's just 25 cents. If you pay for it here, it's like $1. If you pay for it at the airport, it's like $4. Same bottle of water,
Same bottle of water.
but where
Right,
you are. So
right.
you get to decide. I've decided
Exactly.
that when I'm being a missionary and when I'm doing pro bono, I give it away to you free.
Right, right. But that's your decision.
That's my decision. But
Exactly.
when there's another one, when there is someone who is just like, you're right, this is for this clientele, this is what you can charge for your sweet potato pie, whatever you have, or if you're making some soap or some bath bombs, or
Right.
you're making a beautiful bonsai display, it's just like, hey, or a work of
Exactly.
art, because I know Deborah, she paints beautifully and
Mm-hmm.
she's on the cover of quite a few of your books,
She is. Yeah.
it's just beautiful to be able to say, this is, I value this. And this
Exactly.
is the cost for my time, my talent,
Right,
my love
right,
for
right.
this.
Because
So
you know what? I always say, don't prostitute your talent. You can give your away. You just keep giving your time, giving your energy, giving your product. Go ahead and give it away. You can say, well, the Lord will bless me. Well, the Lord has blessed you with that gift, with that talent,
mhm,
with that skill. And then you're
mhm,
going to turn around and say, okay, I'm broke. I need money. You're
mhm,
prostituting your talent. It goes back to saying,
mhm.
know your value,
Yeah.
know your worth, and people will put a higher price tag on your product if they know you value your product yourself. But how can
Mhm.
we expect anyone else to
Right.
if we don't?
And
Don't
when you,
prostitute your gift.
I love that when they say don't prostitute the gift, because again, some people who are Christian based will feel that, but I tell them ministry is ministry, business is business. So
Mm,
there's two different things. Ministry is when you're giving something and somebody can't return it. They're not in a position to help you. That's what ministry is. You're giving to someone who is not able to do for themselves.
right.
That's what ministry is. It's a
Giving,
one-sided relationship. they're
giving.
they're not giving, they're receiving. But
Right.
when we're doing different things, we have to be careful, because that same mentality is why some women, and I'm going to deviate into my relationship bit now, they do in relationships, they view their spouse or finding somebody as ministry. So they find someone who's not even a partner. They're the one
Mm,
that's giving, and burn out. You burn out when you don't get some reciprocal stuff.
right,
That's another
right,
that's another discussion.
right.
I won't
It's
get on
another
that.
discussion. I have a friend, actually, she's watching, Dr. Winborn. You know, I'm going to talk of you, Dr. Winborn. Talented woman. I can't tell you how many different things, different avenues. That is one giving woman.
Mhm,
Give, 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 give. And I'm always on her, you know, put a price on it, put a price on it. You can make some money. But that's me, put a
mhm,
price on it. But
mhm,
that person knows, she knows when it's time to give and when
mhm,
it's time to charge. So
mhm,
again, that's our decision.
mhm.
But again, if you have several avenues of income, there's no reason why we should ever be broke. My sister and I, we had this thing called BBC, broke by choice. We, you know, BBC, if you want to be BBC, you are broke by choice because we
Wow.
sit on our talents, we
Mhm,
sit on our skills, we sit on money because we're afraid to, hey, set up shop and say, I'm
mhm,
opening a business. It doesn't have to
mhm.
be a storefront. I've been working out of my home, publishing these magazines and publishing books on Raggedy A computers until I can afford one. I do what I have to do, but
Mhm,
this is my office. So, you know,
mhm.
I just refuse. Ever since I've heard that, don't prostitute your gift. Take a chance. What are you
Yeah.
going to do? Wait till you 80 and then look back and
Mhm,
say, oh, I
mhm,
knew I could have wrote that book. Oh, I knew I could have
mhm,
made that basket, or I should have. Like,
mhm,
no, like you said,
mhm.
get you another circle, get you
Yeah,
another team that's going to
yes,
be
yes,
progressive, going to be productive, and
yes,
someone that believes in you. But you have to believe in yourself
yes.
first.
And I like when you say that because there may be nobody else around to cheer you on, but you can be your biggest cheerleader. So
Yes.
what if there's nobody else
There
there?
you go.
The
There you
self-talk
go.
that we do in our head is more detrimental than what anybody else could do because we repeat what we choose to believe. So if
Right.
someone tells us that, then we repeat it. But there are so many gifts that you have, and when you start using them, you get more. So just like you said for Dr. Winborn, that she has several different things. The beautiful thing for us is once you are a good steward for that one, it multiplies. You know,
It-
I have to stop saying, "Oh, I'm doing too many things," but I'm like, "Oh, I like that. I like that I could I write an
yes.
article now and then for the other magazine. I like that I can do my little baskets. I like
Yes.
that I can coach. I like that I can travel. I like that I can do some gardening. I like that I can do whatever. You know, sometimes I feel like going in the kitchen and I'll throw down and do some things from scratch. But you have so many different things you can do. I would challenge the ladies to think of at least two things that they wish that they've wanted to do and have been afraid to do them.
Mm,
Two things, and then ask yourself, why not?
why
Pick one of
not?
those things and try them. If it's crocheting, if it's knitting, if it's painting, you may have. Back in the day, I watched Bob Ross. You know, I
Uh-huh.
think one day I may pull out an easel and try to do painting.
Why
You
not?
know,
Why
I
not?
I told
So you'll
myself I
have to
would.
come to the workshop. You'll have to come to the Torn and Transform workshop where you will create an original piece of art.
Tell me the dates of that again. When is
We
that day?
haven't come up with the dates. We're
Okay,
just
okay, you're
advertising, but
putting it up.
yes.
Okay,
But saying that with the baskets and everything that you just said that you did, Carla, so you're an encourager
oh
and
yeah.
you can share words of wisdom, words of affirmation with other women. How did you get there? Because
Oh
you haven't always been there.
no,
So
no.
before we share about the baskets, how did you get where you are today?
How I got where I am today is I stopped believing the lie.
Mm,
I pulled back the layer and asked myself, why do I feel and believe that? And when I started talking to myself and say, is that really true? What you're believing about yourself, that you can't do anything, that there's nothing important that you can do, you don't have any purpose. And I'm like, is that true? And I'm like, I think it's true. It's like, no, are you really, really sure it's true? These are one of the tips that we do with the brain health coach with Dr. Daniel Amen. Change your brain, change your life.
Okay.
And I had to peel back those lies that I was believing all those times.
Mm,
That's a part of peeling back the layers, ch- challenging yourself to peel back the layers of the lies that you are believing. You may not even realize it's a lie that you're believing. You may
right.
think, well, oh, I'm not healthy enough, or I'm overweight, or I'm underweight. I can't do this. I
Or I'm
can't.
too old to
You're
start
too
something.
old to start something.
Hmm.
I'm too young to start something. Oh, the kids are too much. I can't do this.
I
Oh,
don't
I'm a
have the
single
money,
mother. I don't have the
the
money.
time,
We could go on and
on
on.
and
You guys
on.
could share your own story. You tell yourself why you can't do something. And I said, you know what? I'm going to live in the present. What can
Hmm.
I do today? I am
Yes.
not going to worry about living in the past. What I didn't
Right.
do is under the bridge. What can I do today? What can I do today? I'm not worried about what I'm going to do tomorrow. What can I do today?
Hmm.
Today, I'm going to find something new and exciting to do, to try. And voila, I did. I said, when I was a child, I learned how to do some different crafts, put it on the back burner, life happened. And I'm like, I'm going to resurrect that. I believe in resurrecting things,
Yeah.
especially good
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And it's just like when you plant a seed, it's in the soil, just waiting for the winter to pass for it to grow. I think that that's how we are. You may be under some cold ground right now, but as you're listening to us talk, things are warming up, and you can
Yes.
definitely put some fertilizer on that with some things you want to do and just blossom. And everybody's
Hmm.
going to be looking at you. So you may not like the attention you're going to get, but it's just like, what happened to her? I thought she
Yeah.
was dead. But
Yeah. Well, you know what? There are many people who are dead, living a dead life.
yeah,
They're not alive. I call
yeah,
them sleepwalkers. They're
yes,
actually sleepwalking. It's
yes,
like, live. When are you going to start living? Or
yes.
like you, living in the past, living in what you couldn't do before or what
Mhm.
somebody told you. Scrape all that off, shake the dust from your feet and start anew. Start
Mhm.
anew. Because why not? As you said in the beginning, why not? So, how old were you, Carla, when you realized you were going to stop listening to the lie?
Oh my. Believe it or not, I think I was in my 30s.
Okay.
It took me a long time. So I think I was in my 30s when I finally decided I don't like the way this book is going. Because again, as
Mm-hmm.
readers, I was an avid reader. The library was my friend. And I remember saying, Carla, your life is a storybook, but you get to change
Change.
the storyline because you are the heroine. You are your main
Exactly.
character.
Right.
And
Right.
you could decide if you're going to be a wilting, fading person in the background, or you are going to empower yourself and say, oh no, I'm going to
Right.
the path of my life. So I said, I am going to be my leading lady. I'm the leading
Mm-hmm.
lady. I am
Mm-hmm.
not the one, I'm not a supporting cast in my own life. And many times that's the role I was taking. I was taking a
Mm-hmm. Be the
supporting role.
star.
Yeah. I'm like, oh no, this is my book, my story.
Right. Right.
I'm the star of the show.
Exactly.
They're the star of their show. You are what's the word they call it when they put it up on the marquee? You're the star attraction. You are
Mm-hmm.
that person.
Right.
And so often we are so busy just looking at life and looking at
Mm-hmm.
other people
From
and
the
see,
sidelines,
yes,
yes.
and we see them as the main attraction. But
Right.
once I started doing that, I don't have any time to worry about anybody else's life, Lavender.
Yes.
My
Yes.
life is so full and
Thank
entertaining
you.
with my own
Thank you.
spirit that I crack myself up all the time. My sisters wonder what's she grinning at or what she. I am having full conversations with myself
Yeah.
and with because I am the star of my show.
Yes.
And so when
Yes.
a woman decides that you are that person, you are the leading
The
lady in
leading
your
role.
story.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so move like that. You move in the world in a sense of, you're not taking over anybody else's role because
That's
again, you're
right.
your role, you're the star of your role.
Right.
We're not
Right.
competing. And that's the other thing. It's not a competition among
It's
us.
not a competition. It's
It's
not a
it's
competition.
really not.
Everybody has their own red carpet. It's up to you if you want to
Yes.
walk it or not. Or you can
Yes.
sit back and watch the Oscars and watch everybody else walk the red carpet. But you can lay your own red carpet. When you
Yes.
know your worth, that's when the
Yes.
game changes. The game of
Yes.
life changes when you meet that other woman and you just allow yourself to be free.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to be free. Just walk away from the chains, that mindset. You can be in bondage in your mind, thinking
Mhm.
those taunting, terrible thoughts
Yes.
that you've been told, and the self-esteem and the confidence, I'm not good enough. It's shows like this platform, the Other Woman magazine, women like you, Carla, and Deborah and Sandra and other viewers who set examples. Somebody has to set the example for other
Mhm.
women who are bound in their little life when there's a big world out here that you
Yeah.
can take part of instead of sitting on the sidelines of life. And I know there are probably some mothers of small children that might be watching, or some wives who are kind of bound in marriage and not free to be who they are. But we were born
Mhm.
free. We were
Mhm.
created to be free. And if you
Mhm.
don't have people in your life that are supporting you to do what you feel like you were created to do, then you need to check that relationship,
Mhm.
or be bold enough to do you unapologetically,
And
regardless.
because something that you said when you use the term that sometimes they believe, oh, they're not good enough. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's a mindset that I challenge anyone out there. One of my secret dreams to be is to sing at those little bars, or maybe where you just people they're drinking at a restaurant just singing. Now I come from a family of people, and I've been around people who sing. And so,
Uh-huh.
compared to them, if I compared myself to them, I'm not a singer. But
Right.
again, we have to remember when we're on our stage, some of us
Yes.
are on the stage of the White House, like our
Mm-hmm.
President Obama and Michelle. Some of us are on the stage on our little island, and we can get away with doing that. I'm not trying to sing at the one of those big time places, but it
Uh-huh.
doesn't mean
At the
that
Apollo.
right at the Apollo. But it is possible that my singing at my local nursing home is just
Uh-huh.
fine,
There you
and
go.
they appreciate it and are thrilled with my talent.
That's right. That's right.
So when we talk about, oh, we're not good enough, we have to
Mm-hmm.
remember that all of us were not meant to play in the NBA or be a movie star, but all of us have our own platform where
Right.
we can shine and people will appreciate what you're doing. All of us may never have a book published, but as Lavender shares, sometimes that booklet that you do will be just sufficient
Right.
for your family.
Exactly.
It's the
Or
the
an
history.
article in a
Yes,
magazine.
you know,
Exactly. Or a blog.
correct. It doesn't have to be a
Yes.
New York bestseller, but until you
Right.
start writing that blog, you don't know
You
if you
don't
could be
know.
one, a
You
New York
don't know.
bestseller or something. So you start where you're at, And so therefore, you never know. In 10 years, you guys may say, oh, Carla's singing at some place. And it's like, oh, but anyway,
That's
I
right.
don't care anymore now if somebody
I
says
don't
I can't
exactly.
sing. What I do is fine for me. It's entertaining for me.
Yes,
I am not
yes.
bound by somebody else's opinion.
There you go. There you go. Go against the grain. Don't be afraid. I know when I wanted to start the magazine, I remember telling my father, who was responsible for me going forward with the cover of the magazine. He says, "You've been living safe and writing safe all your life. When are you going to, just be free to be?" So I'm not trying to compare or race against Essence or Ebony or 17 or any other magazine. I am the other woman, and I don't care who has to say anything about the cover or the contents. In my mind, the Other Woman magazine is a bestseller. I'm not trying to compete against any other magazine because we're unique. We're
Yeah.
one of a kind. We're setting the standard for the other woman. So
Yes.
just like your baskets, which we're going to talk about, it doesn't matter what other crafts or other basket weavers are out there. Yours is number one. And in
Mhm.
my mind, it will always be. Yours is unique because you're Carla,
Mhm.
Crucian Side
Mhm.
Creations.
Mhm.
Nobody can take that light from you. For
Mhm.
any of our talents, no
Mhm.
one can dim our light. It's up
Right.
to
Right.
us. So
Yes.
just shine and
Mhm.
embrace the shine. But you mentioned something, Carla, you may not like the attention. When you start doing things and getting attention, you may not like the attention. This platform, oh my goodness, it was like pulling teeth and nails to get me to even do a live because I'm a writer. I like to be behind the laptop, but my sister kept telling me, my younger sister, people want to see you. People
Yeah.
want to see you. They want to see who's behind the magazine.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to be bold enough to step
Yes.
out of your comfort
Yes.
zone, step out of that skin that you've lived in all of your life that keeps you bound and suppressed and
Yeah.
silenced, and just unleash that woman. And
Yes.
that's what I did. I just let her go. I let her
Yes.
go, not caring, as you said, what other people say. This is
Mhm.
my life. They're messed up from
Mhm.
the floor up, and you're going to
Mhm.
judge me?
Mm.
Keep
Mm.
judging. Self appointed judges not doing nothing. I'm going to
Correct.
keep moving forward.
Correct. And that is so good as you say that because um, that judgment that we may feel from others paralyzes us. And therefore,
It
um, we
does.
still need to understand that when we start moving, we can keep the momentum moving for someone else. We never
Yes,
even know.
there you go.
Because some of your articles and the things that you're sharing are conversations that some young women they don't have with their mothers. They may not have a mother anymore. They may
Right,
not have
right,
someone safe
right.
to have these conversations because I know many times when I talk with my young women and others and I share things that were never shared with me when I felt it should have
Mhm.
been so crucial to know it at an earlier age,
Right.
having those conversations to help empower those women to let them know number one, you're not alone
You're not alone.
and you can get through this and you
Yes.
will.
This too
And
shall pass.
correct.
Yes.
And we're going to give you a platform and a voice because that's what words do. Words are
Right.
free. So when they
Right.
read an article and hear something, it's just like, oh, I thought I was the only one whose spouse did this to me. Oh, I thought I was the only one that felt this way about a feature. I thought I was the only one who'd been cheated on. I thought that I was the only one whose spouse said it was my fault because
Mm-mm.
I didn't do X, Y, and Z in the bed, whatever that was.
You are not alone.
Correct. And then giving them the tools to say, hey, what's up now? That's not on me. That kind of
Right.
foolishness that was happening. And, but yes, we take ownership when we do need to, but we also grow and it frees us so that you don't have to stay in a situation if you don't want to. Some people want to, that's on them. But
Exactly.
if you decide that you want to, you know that there are others out there who've done it It was
Mm-hmm.
a struggle. The
Mm-hmm.
payoffs are so much greater than the hard.
Mm-hmm. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Carla, we got 15 minutes. We have got to get to the baskets. But before we go to the baskets, this 1 minute, get your baskets ready.
Okay, okay, okay.
This platform, you mentioned helping people build a platform. If you don't have a platform, that's where women who have a platform need to reach back and help those women who want to do something different, who want to get their word out, who want to just share and may not have a platform. So I always invite women to submit articles to the Other Woman magazine. I share my platform, and none of it costs anything
Mhm,
but your time and belief in yourself that you can
mhm.
do it. So if you want to write, you don't have to write a book, as Carla said. Write an article for the Other Woman magazine. You have a business, feel free. Share this video, this live with other women who may have a business and just need a platform to share a little bit more. That's what we do for each other. So, and Dr. Winborn has a show, a segment that she calls her Space, Facebook Live, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, where she's sharing words of wisdom. I call it the word enthusiast, sharing words that will help us get through life, help us get through challenges. It's called Are You Stuck? Are You
Mhm.
Stuck? And she's also now submitting to the Other Woman magazine. So we have a lot of resources. We have a lot of resources. And what's the name of your relationship doula, the website?
That's that's another story. I'm just on Facebook right now because
Okay,
my website domain got taken. But anyway,
okay, okay.
but so yes, but I'm on that for. But when you talk about starting different things and new things, because dropping on April 1st, I have a new Facebook page. My
Okay.
sister and I have started a little podcast, and I uploaded that.
Okay.
So it's Carolyn and Carla C squared. So that's my sister, and we did a podcast called Chit Chat Shit. I'm sorry. So we're going to be talking about stuff that we didn't know back when, as we are now unpeeling and unwrapping different things, because both of us grew up in a very kind of sheltered, conservative kind of situation.
Uh-huh.
And we've had our own life experiences as we've evolved. And we're just breaking through the barriers. We're just doing it in another way. Like you say, you guys can do anything. I'm glad that Dr. Winborn has that. Are you stuck? Because I think the more resources and tools we get out there, it will
Yes.
connect with somebody, because
Right.
each person reacts differently with a different type of person, just like we have different
Yes.
learning skills. Some are auditory, some are tactile, visual, whatever. Sometimes a person will resonate better with whoever. So the more information in the various ways we can put it out there, in the masses, the chances of us just reaching one young woman, one older woman
That's
to make a
right.
change
That's
is worth
right.
it. Worth us
That's
coming out
right.
of our shells.
It is. It is. Because you're doing it for someone else. It's not all about you.
Correct.
It's
It's
not all
not.
about you.
It's not. It really
E-
isn't. 'Cause if it
Even
was,
your
hey,
baskets.
okay,
Even
yes.
your baskets. You make these beautiful baskets that we're going to talk about right now. And when I got my basket from you, Carla, just beautiful. Just beautiful. And it's there's not another basket like mine. The
Mhm,
handle, I don't even
mhm.
have it with me. It's downstairs. The handle. I don't know if your husband told you, but I just did it was a vendor. I was set up as a
Yes.
vendor, and I had your basket with the
Oh,
magazines. He took a picture of it, I believe. I had your basket sitting on the table with magazines, the Other Woman magazine in it. And it just fit perfectly with the pink and black decor of the Other
mhm,
Woman. And he
mhm.
came and took a picture of it. And did you get your copy of the magazine? Because I
Um, He gave me, well, if you just gave it to him, no, I haven't gotten that one.
Okay, okay. I was wondering when I gave it to him, I'm like, is she going to get this magazine? But it was so nice to
Mhm,
share the table. It was just
mhm.
perfect. So you
Oh,
don't make things just for, they
mhm.
serve everybody.
Right.
The baskets serve everyone.
It could be just a piece of art that you have, or it could be
Yeah,
functional. It just depends on it. But I think each woman, we should have something that we do that makes us smile.
smile.
You
Do
know?
something that makes you happy.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
it's just, it's, you should be able to do something, and when you finish it, it's just, because again, I do coaching with stress management, and I find many of us are just wound too tightly.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I live my life um, creating that balance for me. I've been where others have been before, where they've been just so overwhelmed, stress. And I said, I'm not going to go out like that. You know,
Mm,
I may get hit by a car, but I don't want to go out because blood pressure, or some stroked out because I'm stressed. I'm like, no.
mhm.
If those are things that I can do and control in my life, and one of those things is finding something that gives me joys. And I realize that when I'm home, I may watch some TV, but sometimes TV doesn't give me joy. And so I have to find something else that gives me joy.
Mhm.
So now that sometimes my eyes give me issues, I would listen to books. So while I'm listening to the book, I want to do something with my hands. And with the pandemic, as you said, with the basket weaving, my siblings and I decided to, I wove baskets when I was younger, but now when the pandemic hit, we decided to kind of specialize in our inclusion baskets with our market baskets, as we call them. And
I love
we
them.
did that, and people were interested in purchasing some of our baskets. And so that's how it all started. So while I'm just sitting at home watching TV or listening to a book, I needed something to do with my hands. And we started weaving baskets. And as the vendor says, hers had a beautiful handle, because I told her we would pick those up along the beach. So whenever I would visit my family in the Virgin Islands, we would pick up pieces of wood, driftwood, and my sister and I would sand them down and get them all ready, and then make them to baskets. And that's how come she had such a unique handle for her baskets.
You know what? You keep talking. I'm going to go get my basket. I got a
Okay.
show.
And so we this is our traditional market basket that just has a regular handle, and we can custom make the baskets if you want a particular color. Um, and we have different sizes. So depending on your budget, you can look to see if you want a mini, a small, a medium, or an extra large, because we dye the reed for those that want them, but we have them where they can be plain as well too. I have another one here that I finished. So we do little small tiny ones. I like to use cloth sometimes for some of these. So they have those. I'm actually finishing up this one that I started doing, and I have to finish off some few pieces that we're going to have for a particular store that we're working with. But these are the different baskets that we make from pieces of wood or our traditional market basket. Because back in the day in St. Croix, they would actually, go to the market, and they would have it on their head with their bread or whatever goods. My grandmother, she was a baker. Ingeborg, Buggy, Mother Henry, in St. Croix down in Gallows Bay. She actually, during the war, she was the one who made the bread for the sailors here, and they always made sure she got
Really?
her ration. Yes, they would make sure she got her ration of flour enough, because she was making bread for them. And my aunt used to tell the story how she, my grandmother, would make dresses out of the burlap sacks for them.
Wow.
Those were the dresses they made. And so I'm just proud of my heritage. And many times for us, um, we may not be proud of our heritage. And
Mm,
we need to be proud of their story, and tell our children of the pain that may have had happened due to whatever journey it was that they came to America or to the Caribbean
mhm,
from.
mhm,
But let them know why we're so valuable and important,
mhm,
because only somebody who you want to get rid of really bad is because they're valuable. And
mm.
that was the other story I had to tell myself. I'm like, somebody trying really hard to make me believe a lie. And it must be because I'm really valuable.
Right. And they see it.
Yeah, why are they going through so much trouble to keep
Right.
think
Right. Right.
I am
Right.
rubbish? It was just like,
Carla.
I really must be. So I tell
Carla.
myself now, I'm priceless. You can't tell me nothing.
Carla, and I say that about men. I'm not a male hater, man hater. I love men. But I've always said that is why they attempt to suppress us and control, because they know our value and our worth better than we know ourselves. So they try to keep us at a level that we just feel like I'm not going to say we don't need them, but men want to feel needed, but it gets to a point where I don't even know how to say it. Um, they know our worth
Mm-hmm.
better
Mm-hmm.
than we do. So
Mm-hmm.
that whole control thing, they
Mm-hmm.
see the value in us. They don't want
Mm-hmm.
us to outshine or to be right or to whatever it is. It's a whole ego thing. But
Mm-hmm.
when you know your worth, that's when the game changes. But I got to show my basket. I got to show my basket. Okay, so you were saying, so the bottom of it, it's
Yes.
built like that because they did where
Yes.
the basket.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
perfect.
Yes.
The bottom is perfect.
So there
So
was a padding that they would put, I forgot the name of it. So they would put that on their head so that the basket would sit there on them when they go to market. Yes.
okay,
Yes.
okay, and the handle. This is my favorite part of the basket. Is my
Mhm.
handle. So all of your handles are different. And tell
Yeah.
us again where you get your handles from. I don't know if
Well,
you guys can see that.
I know that's beautiful. That one, when we found that piece, my sister was like, Carla, I'm like, I'm going to find the perfect home for that handle. And
And she did. I love it. I love it. Love
yes.
it.
So the handles, they're really just pieces of driftwood. They have so many, they get hurricanes in the Virgin Islands and St. Croix. So there's so many upturned roots and bottoms of trees that are there on the beach sometimes. And we just walk along the beach and look. Everybody else may be swimming in the water, and my sister and I are there looking at the bottom of the trees, because all the trees are dead that we collect the
Okay.
pieces of wood from. So we're looking for different ones with character. And so this one has this nice, beautiful two-tone color. And again,
That is cute.
when I work with the wood too, and when I look at nature, one of the things that reminds me of lavender is they're all different but gorgeous. And so I dislike it when we try to compare ourselves with each other.
Right.
Because you can't compare this handle with your basket handle.
Right. Right. Right.
They each have their own unique beauty for what it's carrying. Yours is a larger one for a bigger one. So
And
you
what's
may
the
be a
price of
little bitty
this?
one.
What's the price of this? What's your
Oh, well,
price
so
of?
it varies. So that's like a $500 basket.
Okay.
That one there, with the we did a weaving with that one with the different colors we had to do, and for the handle as well too, because we put some sweat and elbow grease
And you
into.
can tell. I love it. It just makes me happy looking at it. I love it. Y'all don't hate. Don't hate. So give you give the prices of the other side.
Oh,
The
so
smaller
again,
ones are cute. Also, those small ones are
yes.
so cute.
So again, we have the prices on our website, because again, it just depends on whether
Okay.
it has a wood handle or not, because the wood handles, they start at a higher price because of the wood um, that we use, that we put our elbow grease in. And then it just depends on whether or not we use cloth. I didn't use any cloth on yours, so it varies. This one would run like about 125, I believe. This one runs because
That's
this one
I
is,
love the handle there. That's a
oh, isn't
beautiful
it?
handle.
It's just
That's
oh,
beautiful.
so we just get tickle pink with our handles. And I'm actually working on this other one. Oh, I do want to show you this one. Let me go get that one so you could see.
Okay, and while she's getting her other basket, put in a price on it. Again, valuing your craft, valuing your talent. So as she said, this one here, this large one, they put a lot of time and effort. I haven't even taken off the tag. I use it, and I still don't have it taken off the tag. I just don't want to. But look at the detail on it. That's handcrafted. Look at that detail right there. That takes time. So what would you think she would sell this for? $50, $100, 200? Absolutely not. It is worth all $500. And I tell my sister that, Deborah, with her art, don't be giving away stuff. Don't give it away. This is your time, and this is unique. It's one of a kind. So it's an original, right?
Yes, it
This is an
is.
original.
Yes, it
It's an
is.
original.
Because this is one that I'm working on, and I love this handle. It's going to be gorgeous when I finish working on this
Oh,
one.
look at that
But
one.
it's just, I just like when we find different little ones that have their little, oh, it's just, so again, it just brings me joy when I see pieces of wood and I can just put in the elbow grease to see what's underneath it. And that's what I think each one of us, for the other woman, we may be a little banged up after a
Oh,
hurricane, but if
girl.
we
Stop
start just,
it.
sanding down and peeling back the layers, we
Stop
got something
it.
gorgeous underneath us.
Girl, stop it.
You're
I
gorgeous,
love
guys.
it. I love it. I love it. And that is the Deborah and the Torn and Transform workshops that are coming up.
Oh.
They are pieces of torn tissue paper,
Hmm.
pieces of torn tissue paper that come together and create an original piece of art. So, like
Wow.
you said, you may have gone through a tornado, you may feel broken, you may feel like you've been torn to shreds, you may feel like you have been through the fire. But when you go through something, that's an opportunity for creation. Nothing is broken, everything
Mhm.
has value, even
Mhm.
the pieces. Because
Yeah.
hold up the basket that you're working on now,
Okay.
with all the holes in it and unfinished. It's a work in progress, just as we are. So,
Mhm.
girl, I could write a book about that basket. I love it. I love creativity. I love even a book. That's why I'm passionate about books. People say, well, my life is not interesting. Everyone's life is interesting. It's
Yeah.
just how you write it. It
Yes.
doesn't matter if you think it's boring, it's
Mhm.
interesting to someone else.
Mhm.
So Deborah says, can we do a field trip to find wood here in the US?
And that would be interesting to see, because we could see, because what we found is that um, because it's been weathered by the sea, the water, so it'd be interesting if we could find it by a body of water. It
Mm.
really seems to have seasoned the wood. And I think that with us as women,
Oh,
sometimes, our life experiences season us and we need to
say
be
it.
seasoned. So it would
Yes.
be interesting to see whether or not we could find some body of water, because what we found with that is kind of stripped some of the pieces back, And I don't know if fresh water will do the same as salt water. So I would
I bet
definitely
you it
love to
doesn't.
explore to see it, because it's when we've gone just in the regular hiking
Yeah.
for it, that wood was dry rot. It just didn't work for it.
I haven't
But
seen anything like this on
yeah,
any beach. I haven't seen anything like that.
yeah,
Nothing,
yeah.
nothing even close
Because it's
to
more
it.
so it's the root balls. Because like I said, because these we found out it wasn't even the branches, is the root. And that's to come again. I'm passionate about us, is the stuff that's happening below the surface that people can't see that makes you special. And when we were looking, a person told us, look for the roots. That's where the character is. All of those things were upturned bottoms.
Oh my goodness. Dr. Winborn says the title of the book that I said I could write would be "What Do You Carry in Your Basket?" You know
Ooh.
what I thought about? Shoot, the bag lady. Women always have bags, pocketbooks, and baskets. Now we got baskets to carry. We always got
Something. We're carrying
carry a
something.
load. We carry something. But Carla, I thank you. I want to put your website up here, Ken Crucian Bayside Creations. You can go there and check out the beautiful baskets. They're beautiful for gifts. They're beautiful as a piece of art. They're beautiful to carry to the market, to carry to the flea market, to go and get your vegetables. I love my basket. Now, my basket is used specifically for the other woman. I take it when I have an event. It just helps me to keep my magazines. It's good for presentation, but you can use them for anything. And you have ideas on your website of what you can use the baskets for. And the podcast, before we go, it's already after 8, but before we go, tell us why you wanted to start the podcast, you and your sister. And what's the title of it again?
The Facebook page is Carolyn and Carla C squared. My
Okay.
sister and I are not a full year apart. And throughout our lives, we've had our ups and downs in our relationship where there was jealousy on my part, again, all in my head, insecurity, low self esteem. And we made a significant effort as adults to build a relationship because we're
Mm.
not always close. So in the last 20 years, we've been on a journey of transparency with each other, of
Oh.
helping each other. And when we have our conversations over the phone, sometimes we have these aha moments. And again, we didn't grow up cursing. So shit is like a big bad word for us, you know? But the reason that we did that term is because of a conversation I had with my daughter. So I continue to learn from the younger generation. And I realized that so many people have conversations, but they don't have conversation. They just chit chat. And we are tired of people just being superficial and having chit chat shit. We want you to have conversation.
So that's the name of the podcast, Chit Chat Shit.
Yes. Yeah.
I love
Chit
it.
chat shit.
My sisters and I have chit chat shit all the time. We've always said we should tape our conversations. Chit
I need
chat
to have you
shit.
guys as a guest, both of you and your sister, and you could share some of the conversations you have because it's just, I think it's time to, people said
Be
never air your dirty
real.
laundry. Yes,
Be
yes,
real. That's what I'm saying. Be
yes. It's
real.
time to take off the mask. It's time.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the mask, and that we're dying in front of people,
Oh
and
my
we're going to
goodness.
pretend
Yes.
that
Yes.
you're fine. I'm like,
Exactly. The
that shit
mask
don't make no sense.
suffocates you. It
Yeah,
suffocates you, but if you wear it long enough, it becomes comfortable.
you
And you don't
know,
even realize you're
just,
wearing a
no, you're
mask. Just
dying
be
behind the
real.
mask. You're
You're
dying
dying
behind the
behind the
mask.
mask.
You're
Yes.
choking, and they don't even know to give you the
Don't
Heimlich
even.
maneuver because you
Mm,
choke.
mm.
So I am just tired and wanting to give some other young woman out there the power to just say, you know what? I want to move into a more meaningful kind of space. Let me leave this chit chat shit for people who want to clean up behind dogs. You got me passionate about that now. But anyway,
That's
don't be a pooper
good. I
scooper.
love it.
Don't be a pooper scooper.
my goodness, Carla, I love it. Chit chat shit. So how can we find this podcast?
Well, I created a YouTube channel, but I have it to publish on April Fool's Day. I thought that was appropriate.
Great.
April
Great.
1st. It's supposed to drop at I think at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. And
Okay.
on the Facebook page, it will be there. I think I put it to for 10 o'clock, 9 or 10
Okay.
o'clock, because it has to wait till it's no longer private on the there. And I'm still figuring this stuff out. That's the time I said you guys need to learn. I have the platform for the podcast, but I haven't uploaded it to the podcast
Okay.
one as yet. So
Well, let
when I-
me know so I can share it on the Other Woman Magazine Facebook page and share it on my page. But chit chat shit sounds like it's right up my alley.
you know,
Chit chat shit. I love the title.
I
You know, it starts with a good title. You got to have a title of anything, not just a book. Just
Yeah.
like the Are You Stuck? Just
Yeah.
like the Torn and Transformed. You
Mhm.
got to have a title
Yeah.
to draw people that people can
Mhm.
relate to. So chit
Mhm.
chat shit, that's every woman.
Yeah.
Chit chat shit. We all have chit chat shit.
You know, and I'm hoping they stop at the little thing I did for the thumbnail was a picture of the empty roll of toilet tissue.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop.
Okay.
That's
you
what I
can-
mean about just why play it safe? Why play it safe? That is why this is the cover.
Yes,
Play it
yes,
safe.
yes.
That shit with the logo being a roll of empty toilet. Okay, we're going to call it quits right now.
All right,
'cause
all right.
We're taking this someplace else that they don't want to go. This is all for chit chat shit. Okay, so thank you, Carla, for joining us tonight, and thank you all for our viewers. Thank you for viewing, should I say. Thank you for the comments. Please share with those you know who may want to branch out of themselves, who want to leave their comfort zone. I always encourage start with something small. Just start somewhere.
Yes.
Start somewhere, and just don't be afraid to meet the other woman and unleash her in the one life that we have. The
Mhm.
one life that we have. You don't want to live it from the sidelines, watching other people walk the red carpet. Lay your own red carpet.
Yes.
Empower yourself. Even if you allow your life to touch one person,
Mhm.
write that book, start that podcast, create that art, whatever it is within you. If you like to talk, a podcast would be perfect. You
Mhm.
know, it won't be chit chat shit. See, you started it. Somebody's going to say, man, I could have thought of that. I have chit chat about shit all the time. I could, but you didn't. So Carla decided to start it, and she has it. And so check the Other Woman Magazine Facebook page, like that Facebook page, and you can have an update on Chit Chat Shit podcast. Go to her website, Crucian Bayside Creations, and look at the beautiful baskets that she has hand woven. They do this by hand,
Yeah.
And this
Mhm.
is just a dying art. But thank you to you and your sisters, your family, for wanting to keep that art alive. And we thank you. And until next time, Carla, I'm going to wait for your article for the Other Woman Magazine. Sandra, Dr. Winborn, you owe me an article for the magazine. Deborah, I hope you're creating art because you got the Torn and Transformed workshops coming up. Don't come on here and think I'm not going to call you out. We're going to hold each other accountable. Okay, and with that being said, I want to recognize my sponsor, attorney Robert Allen. And on that note, we are going to close. So thank you guys for joining us tonight, and you guys have a good night.
Fake, be who you wanna be, cause what makes you unique is your identity. It's what makes up you and me. It's what makes up you and me. It's what makes up you and me. It's your identity. It's your identity. Yeah. It's what makes up you and me. It's what makes up you and me. It's your identity. It's your identity. It's what makes up you and me. It's what makes up you and me. It's what makes up you and me. It's your identity. It's your identity. It's what makes up you and me. It's what makes up you and me. It's what makes up you and me. It's your identity. It's your identity.